who are some of the first Boston artists that you kind of remember hearing about and being like,
He's been there since the start.
Yeah. Cousin Stiz definitely for me. Just because I formed a relationship with Tim LaRue early on. Just as a fan, honestly, watching like the 12 for 12 ciphers that he used to do. And
did you ever go to any of them?
I never did. And the thing is, I was like 15 years old, and it was all these like college kids, and so I was always like, I'm just being a weird ass kid that's like chilling in the corner. But I mean,
didn't they do them at a weed store on Newbury?
Well, no, it's funny actually. So how I got introduced, basically anyone from Boston music, was through Derek, who ran the Green Street Vault. It was a food truck that, instead of selling food, it sold clothes on Newbury Street.
Whoa. And
because they had like some permitting issues, so he wasn't able to use his truck anymore. So he had to get a storefront. And the Green Street Jungle was a storefront, and that's where the 12 for 12 cipher, the first one, was ever held. And so, so from Derek and me just going to that store, I ended up hearing about 12 for 12 and all this shit. And I was like, you know what, what the hell even is this? I ended up becoming cool with Tim, and then at the second 12 for 12 cipher, that's when Stiz ended up going there. Hefe, he didn't even want to go. In the Noisy documentary, he talks about how he was not going to pull up, and Hefe Replay pulled up on him and was like, we're going to this freestyle.
And he said, cut that check, cousin. Yeah. that's Hefe's big line. Bro. Cut that check, cousin.
Exactly. Ain't shit free. But nah, fucking, I think Cousin Stiz in that freestyle, like I remember a lot of the words from it to this day. It's like, it just made me feel like that magical feeling you get when you're first listening to music, where it's like, oh, like my parents are the ones that put me onto it. Like, I found this and I love it for my own reasons. Like, I think hearing Cousin Stiz freestyle in that moment made me realize, like, shit, like, good artists they don't have to be from an LA or New York or anywhere from that matter. They're from all over the place.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a gradual experience for you. It was like an epiphany.
It was like that immediately. It was like, holy shit. Like, before then, I was like, there's no good rappers in Boston. There can't be, like, impossible. It would have already happened by now. But, like, that just sort of changed my perception of things. And sort of Cousin Stiz, I think, was definitely the first one that really was just, like, amazing to me. I'm trying to think of who else. Hefe Replay was up there.
Was this during the...
It was like 2012.
Was during the Pilot Nation days?
Pilot Nation, Nick Gray, Hefe Replay.
Shout out to Nick.
Yeah,
we're trying to see Nick out in L.A.
That's funny. Yeah, no, it's fire because I remember bumping that like in high school, like just chilling. You know what I mean? Like trying to show my friends or whatever, and then being like, I don't care about this. Like, what are you talking about?
You put me on like freshman year of college. I'm like, yo, what is this?
I remember playing Cousin Stiz for everyone. Like,
was a shout out? You're playing shout out?
Everything, bro. Like all that shit. Expensive Heat. I remember we were playing Fantasy off of Expensive Heat. Like,
I don't even know what Expensive Heat is.
That's the Pilot Nation's project. It's like that was the first. Like, you see all these Boston projects that get rolled out now, and how the city sort of like unites around them. First project I ever saw people do that for was Expensive Heat.
Dude, what was that song with Stiz and Night Lavelle with that DJ from like Harvard? And the production is crazy. I still have it.
That sounds so familiar.
And the video is this dude, he's like snowboarding and he has like a marshmallow like hat on. He was like this super DJ from Harvard. And Stiz hopped on a track and I was like, bro, this shit is fire.
That sounds familiar as hell, but it's like shit like that where it's like all these people and like they sort of, you know, what was it?
Up North.
Up North.
Yeah. And what's the name of the DJ?
Knock from the Future.
Yeah,
he's from Cambridge.
He was going to Harvard.
Oh, going to Harvard? Oh shit!
Damn.
That song was smacking, bro.
I remember that. I failed the fuck out of my stats final and then hopped in the whip and played that and drove back to Quincy from
Amherst.
Amherst.
You hit the booth pack.
Yeah, I was like, it's all good now. I was like, bro, I'm chilling.